Today, we're going to be hearing from James Dumas and Alex Perchekin on the top 6 tips for reducing your Microsoft license cost and closing the gaps on the most common burdens in your Microsoft environment. James is our Director of Operations for Quadbridge, and he also oversees the license team. Alex is our Quadbridge Senior Technical Specialist and plays a huge role of VCIO as well for many of our services. I will pass this virtual mic over to James. And James, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks so much, Alvin, and thanks everybody for taking the time to register and attend our event today. But yeah, as my role of Director of Operations, I oversee the renewals specialist team and the sales operations specialist team. We've definitely seen a huge growth in software as a segment. So with that, we can go to the first slide here. So the reason that Quadbridge and we believe you should be focused on this and why we've put this presentation together is in 2022, it is the first time, for those that are unaware, that software spend, enterprise software spend has eclipsed device spend. Now, this is not necessarily because device spend has dropped, although there has been a small drop, but this is because that enterprise software spend is only going up. Obviously, we all know Microsoft is a huge player in this. We see their latest earnings reports. This strategy is paying off very, very well for them, as well as other market leaders. There's the Adobe VIP program. There's Sophos, VMware. There's many others. But today we're going to be talking about mostly all about Microsoft for those that have Microsoft environments. So the spend numbers are from Gartner. The stat on the right, the 56% of companies that have CSP environments or M365 environments are having inactive licenses, underutilized licenses. For lack of a better term, they are not right-sized. So we're hoping today we can give you some tips to right-size these environments. So what we know from helping customers. So these tips over this presentation that Alex and I will be going over are real-life scenarios for where we've actually helped customers. When I attended Qubits back in May, I sat down with some customers at the Brain Date event. For those that were there, how's everyone doing? What I was surprised, well, not necessarily surprised, but it feels like everybody is pretty much in the same boat where Microsoft licensing can be complicated. There's enterprise agreements. They used to have MPSAs. They have open licensing, and obviously the CSP. Why is Microsoft making me go on a CSP for a perpetual license? What is a yearly commit on an NCE? Monthly commit. We know it's complicated, so these tips will hopefully help you, guide you in the right direction. But we can also, help you out one-on-one with, your account manager and our Microsoft specialists. But we do believe that Microsoft is going to continue to push the CSP program as the way of procuring these licenses. So most of our tips are around that licensing model. So the first tip, it involves tiering and combining of licenses. So for those that are unaware, on the CSP program, there's, or the different Microsoft license programs, there's 2 ways to buy the subscription license. There's the business program and the enterprise program. The business program caps out at 300. And if you need 301 licenses, Microsoft will tell you, oh, you have to buy enterprise now. So this particular customer had outgrown the need for those 300 business standard. And Microsoft's like, yeah, you have 301, you need to move to E3, which would have almost doubled their subscription costs. So we sat down with the customer, we evaluated what they actually needed, and we decided, or we offered, that they keep the first 300 licenses on the business standard program. And then for any additional, for that, for the additional 10, 50, whatever they needed, they can do a combination of the apps for business suite and the business basic. Obviously not the same price as the business standard, but not the price of the E3, as you can see. And this customer saved over $3,500 a month, with this model. So it's just one example of where we believe that maybe some of you could save some money on the licensing costs. Tip number two, it involves leveraging your actual usage data. There's some more slides on this to come right after this, but for this particular customer, they had 275 E3s, 125 E1s. I believe there was a reason they needed to be on the enterprise suites for a particular usage, and then they had 1,000 kiosk licenses. Their small team was having some challenges managing these licenses, knowing which is actually being used, which are actually needed. So they came to us for some help. They're looking for a little bit of a deeper insight on what their usage was. So we have a tool, we call it QBX. It's powered by CoreView, where you can scan your CSP environment to see what the actual usage is using the logs. There's no data on the QBX portal, it's just the logs. And after we scan the environment for, off the top of my head, I want to say it takes about 3 days to populate the data. We discovered that they were not using those licenses they were paying for. They were using 250 of the E1s and E3s, and they didn't need those 600 extra kiosk licenses. So they actually right-sized their environment down to 210 E3s, 50 E1s, and 250 kiosks, which saves them almost $5,000 a month. So significant savings. Obviously, we can compete on price on CSP, but where you're going to save money on CSP is right sizing. And this presentation is by no means a demo of the QBX portal, but we just wanted to give you a snapshot of what the portal looks like. Maybe some of you are actually using this portal if you're a QuadBridge CSP customer, but it does get very, very granular. You can run reports, you can run usage details. We like to say that we believe Microsoft won't tell you if you're paying for a license and not using it, but the QBX portal will. So definitely a value add there. So if you subscribe the sales team to Dynamics CRM with QBX portal, you can see who's actually using that license and who needs it or not. On this slide, we just wanted to also let you guys know that the QBX portal does chargebacks per department. So if you wanted to see which department is not right size, you can get that granular, and you can see, how much that department is paying or how much license they're subscribed to, in an attempt to maybe work with that department head to see who actually needs those licenses and reduce your cost that way on a departmental level. Tip number 3 is obviously, QuadBridge, we believe we have the full Microsoft expertise. We can do Pro and managed services. We can do Azure. But really, we wanted to shout out to the licensing team here, where, if you're about to sign a 1-year, 3-year commit, why not take a look at it? Make sure that you're subscribing to the right licenses, like we talked about in the last 2 tips, as well as we could work on other manufacturers as well. When I was an account manager, we always told our customers that you want to review your Microsoft licensing at least once a year, even if you're on a 3-year commit, just so you have an idea of what you're actually using and maybe what you're not using and you're paying for. But definitely you're looking for a Microsoft partner that can give you consultative advice, not just send you a quote. And we're more than happy to help you with that. With that, I'll turn it over to Alex, the security expert. I am by no means a security expert, and he'll go through his tips for securing your Microsoft environment.
Hello, everyone. I'm conducted quite a number of security reviews with all our customers, and from those reviews, several tips came out that's kind of standard for everybody, and I think I'll share them with you today to help you on your journey to securing your environment. So first and most important tip: review and implement recommendation and security score portal of Office 365. Microsoft provides a number of recommendations to all customers on how to secure their environment, starting with a few, but as you use more and more Microsoft products, the list of recommendations grows as well. So you might start with 100 recommendations, but after a while you might see 1,000 of them. So it can be overwhelming at times. The list itself is also live. It grows as Microsoft adds new recommendations over time. The security score portal itself provides an easy numbered to see where you stand in relation to recommendation Microsoft provided, as well as how you compare against similarly sized companies in your region. You can see it on the right side of the slide. As you can see in the center there, Microsoft most recommended actions are listed as well as an impact they will have on your score, so you can prioritize them to address them first. Um, this is available to all Microsoft clients free of charge, but the tool itself is obviously can require some specialized knowledge on how to implement those specific steps. Um, we take this a step further with our clients in our Microsoft security assessments. We review Microsoft recommendations and overlay our expertise and our knowledge of your environment to filter out what is irrelevant and enhance the recommendations that they provide. We'll give you the great insights in like which areas you can address without purchasing any additional licensing, what areas you may have covered by non-Microsoft solutions, and so on. It is important to realize that the score is not your end goal. It's just an indicator where you stand. A score of 80% is likely achievable without additional spending and will greatly impact your security as well as your cyber insurance. And yes, cyber insurance filters largely into this because Microsoft, all your insurance companies will now ask for what your score is so they can assess how secure you are without having to dig into it. So if you'd like to reduce your premiums on cyber insurance, increasing your score is one of the ways to do that. Next tip that's came across standard, and I can't stress how important this is multi-factor authentication. This is the best thing you can do to enhance your security for your Office 365 accounts, and we recommend that you secure all your user accounts, including accounts that non-user ones, if possible, protected by MFA. MFA provides 99.9. I'm not sure how many nines behind that, but it's the most secure way of doing any kind of authentication. And as you can see, it banks and pretty much anything that you do online nowadays uses MFA as well. Multi-factor authentication provides the best chance you have against somebody obtaining credentials from your users and breaching your security. We work closely with Covenant Insurance, and they shared with us that 70% of cyber insurance claims that they are seeing could be avoided if MFA was in place. Thinking about the implication of that number, having MFA enabled can drastically reduce your risk of cyber attack. And again, I can't overstate how important MFA is for your security. Granted, there are some accounts that are difficult to protect with MFA. For example, there's accounts that are shared by multiple users. However, there's a solution for that that we at Collaborate use, and we can help you with it as well. So reach out to us if you have any questions on how to help set up MFA. MFA itself can be easily controlled manually or by policy. So it allows you to roll out it to your company slowly without disrupting your business. You can do it one person at a time or everybody at once if you choose to do so. In our QBX portal, we can track the status of all your users with regards to MFA, where they stand, and assist with enforcing for everybody. As you can see, some of the accounts here have MFA disabled for various reasons. Over time, as things happen, accounts gets MFA is removed or blocked for a moment, and then you forget to enable it. And over time, it can really build up to compromising your environment. So audit of your environment is absolutely important, and our QBX tool is one of those tools that can easily show you where you're lacking. The last tip that I have for you guys is email filtering. From what we've seen with all our customers is that, and it's kind of known, majority of, no, in fact, 94% of malware is delivered by email. It's one of those interesting stats I have for you. And vast majority of compromising of environment happen through the users, through your own users. They perhaps click on a link that they shouldn't click on, they open a file, or they fill out their login information in some phishing email attack that happens. And that's why it's absolutely important, very serious, to have a third-party email filtering, or Microsoft if you prefer, that has safe links scanning enabled. That will scan the links that users click on and warn them if the link is known to be malicious. At the same time, it scans from all your email, picks out all the things that are infected, including the phishing attacks, and prevents the attackers getting to your users. It is also of paramount importance to make sure that users not only protected from those attacks, but also learn on their own to recognize when an attack is happening and stop it, avoid it. So not just the email filtering that you must nowadays have, but also user training. There's a number of solutions there, including from Microsoft, as well as third parties, on how to train your users, how to test them against phishing attacks or um, other prevalent threats that happening nowadays. So it is absolutely, again, I can't stress how important it is to have this enabled on your environment to protect yourself from attackers.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, James. That was awesome. So, if we go to the next slide here, um, we highly encourage you to take advantage of these offers that you see here right now. The first one you see here is you can contact us, request a demo, and a free 1-month trial of the QBX platform, which we briefly mentioned throughout the session. The portal delivers an outstanding insights on your Microsoft usage, and it's very, very user friendly, and you'll love it. Second, Alex mentioned, you get a free Microsoft portal that offers a customized insight on areas of improvement. Reach out to us for an M365 security assessment, and we will show you your portal and advise you on which actions you should really prioritize from a more unbiased perspective than the Microsoft tool. And last, here at Quadbridge, we do have a dedicated in-house Microsoft expert. The case studies that are presented today are from clients that he has worked with. And if you're ever looking for advice, he's more than happy to consult with you. In in the emails that follow this event, our marketing team will share more information on how to take full advantage of these free offers as well. And with that, we want to give you an opportunity to answer and for us to answer any of your questions. I won't be answering it. I'll pass the virtual mic to James and Alex. Another question from Carolina here is, what's the best way to maintain flexibility to fluctuate when Microsoft is pushing us to lock in?
Yeah, there's three different models on the NCE program for the CSP. There is the yearly commit where you pay yearly and you're locked in for the year. There's the yearly monthly, and there's the monthly commit. So if you have a static environment that does not change and you know it's going to be the same for the next X amount of years, you could do a yearly commit. But if you have a seasonal workers or unexpected change that may be coming up, you want to go for something more like a monthly. So that's our recommendation.
Awesome. Thanks, James. So I got something from Jesus here. Talking about MFAs, how do you secure an account that belongs to a team? Multiple users have access to the mailbox.
Okay, I can answer that one right now pretty quickly. But if you do want to talk more about it, reach out to us. So the way to secure that account is that when you first time filling out MFA, they give you a little screenshot that you can scan with your device. That screenshot, once there's a specific way to select it for Android, not for Microsoft, which allows the user of application, but for Android, which allows kind of use it own time. And you can save that screenshot in your database or somewhere, and then users can use the same screenshot. They don't have to go through MFA process. They can just scan that picture, and they'll have the same access to that MFA account as anybody else. So we can have multiple 10, 20 people using the same MFA to log in into the same account.
So I don't see any other questions. So I do like to thank Everyone, thank you, James. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for all of our attendance here. As we all have Microsoft in some platform, one or another with it, please reach out to us with any further questions with it, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.